back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we're talking about Star Trek Lower Deck's newest episode, Where Pleasant Fountains Lie. Welcome. I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues and guests, Paul Sutherland, the dude of the tube. Wait, Trek? Wait, I can't. Trek Duke. Oh.
What? Trek, Duke of the Tube.
Trek, Duke of the Tube. Thank you. PJ, and then myself, Prince Starfleet Boy, and well, actually, I can't be a prince until the crown prince until I lose my virginity. So that's not going to happen anytime soon. So there you go. Okay, that joke didn't land at all. Wow.
Just edit it out. Cut it out in the edit.
There's no editing. Dom's here. Dom says, I'm here on time. Greetings, Dom. Also,
Howdy.
Dom, if you want to be on the show, let me know. Holla, and I'll send you a link. And greetings to you, PE. How's it going? And also, Alexandra.
I gotta
hello.
retweet the tweet.
I got a laugh from Alexandra. That was exciting. I can be the prince, just not the king. That's right. That's what it is.
Did Alexandra laugh at your joke, or at the fact that no one laughed at your joke?
Probably the fact that no one laughed at my joke. How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Fine enough.
Fine enough. Who would like the honor of doing the episode summary for this week?
Not me.
No one ever wants to do these things. Do we need to do them? People have seen the episode. We don't need to do these things. I know it's tradition, but
okay, I'll do a really quick one.
Do a quick one. Do it like a snap one.
Loxana Troy's cousin from another planet, cousin from another, or sister from another planet, comes to visit, and she's related to Andy Billups. It turns out his name's not Andy; it's like Anatonius or something, like I forget the name already. Anyways, he's a prince, and just like Deanna was a princess of sorts, and basically she's trying to get him to leave his passion for Starfleet and his life in Starfleet and come and be, come and do his royal duty, so to speak. But the only way he can become the king is to lose his virginity. And so he's very much against it, doesn't want to do it, but feels like he's forced into it when she fakes her death, as well as poor what's his name? Darn it! That's why I don't do these summaries. I always forget everyone's name. Rutherford, as well as poor Rutherford. Tendy's in a panic. She's freaking out because she tried to convince Rutherford to do new things out of his field of comfort. And so, anyways, that's happening on the one hand. On the other hand, Mariner and Boimler are on a side mission where they're supposed to drop off a evil AI at the Daystrom Institute, but they crash land on a planet a la Wesley and Jean-Luc with this evil AI, and it's using all of its tactics to try to trick them to go against each other. But Boims was one-upping the AI all along and saves the day at the end by sending a distress signal. And I think I got everything.
And Arithio.
And Arithio is the name, is Andy Phillips's actual name. So that's it. All right. What did you guys think?
What was the name of Jeffrey Combs' character?
It was, I had that
Agamus.
written down. Yeah, Agamus.
Agamus. I kept on thinking of Agamemnon, the villain from the Scorpion King, but like no one cares about that. But that's what.
The villain in the Scorpion King is Agamemnon?
Yeah.
Huh.
The guy
That's not where that name comes from, right?
The guy that catches arrows.
I haven't seen the Scorpion King in a long time, so oh well. But yeah, Agamus is the name of our evil AI, played by.
There was a Jet Reno joke in this one?
Jeffrey Combs. What?
I don't know. You've been boimed. It says there was a Jet Reno joke in this one. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, like when he says you've been boimed, that was pretty funny.
Yep.
PJ, why don't you go first since you haven't been on in a bit?
Well, it's pretty much one of the best episodes of the series. For a lot of reasons. It's one of the best looking episodes. It's not like dependent on callbacks. I think these Triskelions, is that what they're called?
The high, Hysperians, which I totally want to be one.
I think they're an original creation, and yes, there are hints of Luoxana Troy in Billups' mother. I like the predictability of it. I knew, like, I was waiting for the ploy, right? So when the thing blows up, and obviously I don't think Rutherford is dead, and I don't think the mother's dead, and there was some fun in that, and I really liked the mission with the AI, and Jeffrey Combs is hands down the best guest voice actor they've had on yet. Like they really used him well, and it's probably the funniest episode. Like, it's just relentless, and it's well paced. Both stories that are going on, it doesn't focus on three things. Sometimes it has like an A, B, and C plot. This is just like an A and B plot. So there was more focus on either side. Excuse me. And yeah, I'll think of more things, but I really liked it. I only watched it twice. I really want to watch it again.
I only got to watch it once. I usually try to watch them twice, but I only got to watch it once. I agree with you. I think it's one of the funniest episodes of the season. I don't know about the whole series, but it definitely had me in stitches.
It's definitely. I'll give my score right now. It's a 9. I haven't given it a 10
You're
yet.
like already giving
it is a 9. It is up there.
BJ's like,
it was a really good episode, and the fact that they focused on this, side character Billups, voiced by Paul Scheer, by the way, who is excellent. I used to love him in a show called The League. But yeah, it's great to see something focused on that, and like the sexuality in the episode was really interesting, and like there's a line where she's like, you can rub your something up my thing all day or something, like very kind of explicit stuff, and there's actual nudity and stuff like that, and there's like impotence jokes, and it's a really fun episode.
I gotta say, there's one of the jokes that I enjoyed because Billups says something like, he says a technobabble thing. He's talking about the engine, but it's a very long sentence. But then she repeats the whole thing, like the whole sentence. Oh, you can, and then she says the whole technobabble sentence. I thought that was funny.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know. I gotta look that up. I know what line that is.
Yeah, I will. Oh, sorry. I will agree that it is probably one of the most visually creative and stunning episodes of Lower Decks so far. Like, everything on the planet was just so amazing to look at, and the music complemented the visuals so well. And then all of the kind of, I suppose, medieval fantasy cross blend with the science fiction stuff going on, and with the Hysperians, their ship, that was amazing too. It was visually stunning. I don't think that story-wise it was like necessarily groundbreaking, or as groundbreaking as Lower Decks has done. But at this point, like, Lower Decks is delivering, like, the baseline Lower Decks is always very good at this point for me. So it was just full enjoyment for me. It wasn't as funny as the last week's episode, but that, like, funny is always subjective, and like the way we react to comedy and humor. But I loved it.
I just want to say what the line was before anybody else continues. You can run your full diagnostic along my bottom up, my liege. Wait, I'll say it again. Sorry. You can run your full diagnostic along my bottom up, my liege. That could be an error in the captions, but she says something like that, and it's like, whoa.
It's too long for the captions.
I like that his first time with having sex was going to be with two people. Like that was like the standard. It was like,
I have to reply to Blue Spark.
They were so disappointed too.
I have to reply to Blue Spark. He says, "Hey guys, what the fuck is Starfleet Boy wearing?" He thinks he's gone medieval.
I'm wearing my Renaissance. I'm a big Renaissance fair person, and so this is part of like one of my Renaissance outfits. And then I'm also wearing the 2 or 3 weeks ago Star Trek Lower Decks shirt with Dr. Tiana playing in her box.
You know what? So, it makes sense. Like, so assuming that the Hysperians are like, I guess a genderly binary species. They've got male and female, right? Assuming that, it makes sense to give this guy the choice, like the option, because he hasn't had like a sexual awakening or like sexual arousal, where he hasn't concentrated on that for so many years. So it's like, maybe he's gonna like one, maybe he's gonna like the other, maybe he's gonna like none, maybe he's gonna like both. So it makes sense to like give him the options, right? The other two
And-
seemed very disappointed, by the way, but
And it's fun that the guy and the girl are just on him all throughout the whole episode. He's just not interested, and like I love the idea of like he's a virgin. He wants to stay that way and stuff like that.
That's called asexual. Paul, what did you think of the episode?
Well, I mean, like to that point, I actually really appreciated the way sexuality was depicted in the episode. Nobody had a problem with Billups wanting to stay a virgin. It wasn't commented on like in a way that would
it wasn't shameful.
Yeah, toward the character, which I really appreciated, and also the fact that he was just about to have sex with a man and a woman, and it wasn't commented on. It wasn't a thing.
It wasn't a thing at all.
Which felt very Star Trek to me, and like a couple of weeks ago when Mariner runs down the list of her types, and she's boys, girls, non-binary, binars, whatever, like that all feels really consistent with that 80s and 90s vision of Star Trek, which we've kind of gotten away from a little bit, So I'd just say I just appreciated that. I also really liked that the episode didn't like escalate in a way that I thought was annoying. Like last week, I thought they kind of hit the jokes a little too hard, too frequently last week. And like the Armis thing, I loved Armis showing up last week, but I didn't need that joke to go on as long as it did, So I think this episode like had the perfect balance of humor and obviously, 24th century, the depiction of the 24th century.
I thought of you as we were watching, as I was watching the episode, because I was thinking, when is this gonna I guess degenerate into like something completely outlandish? And then it never really, like I was half expecting like a dragon, to like the mother to transform into a dragon or some shit. And I was like, oh, she's gonna be an evil witch or something.
Yeah, there were
And
no
then
transformations.
Nothing happened. I was like, oh, Paul's gonna like this one.
Yeah, I know. I like transformations, like horrific body horror in animated form is like clearly like a trope in Lower Decks now, but I was happy that it didn't occur this week.
Imagine a live action version of like the Tendi Scorpion thing. That would be disgusting.
Yeah, or when Rutherford expands like 3 times the normal size, like. But yeah, no, it was good. It didn't escalate. It felt good. Although, I mean, the fist fight between Mariner and Boimler felt a little unnecessary, but it was fine.
Yeah, there was a little. I saw a little discourse online about some folks saying like Boim should never have hit Mariner and stuff like that. But
can I just say they were clever about that because they don't show it. It's an implied punch. Like you physically don't
I
see
didn't realize
the fist
it felt like it.
You just see his arm go past the camera and you hear the hit. And I get a little tired with the whole like violence in it, like especially in that one opening where they're breaking each other's teeth and stuff like this. But in this case, this episode was really good at balancing the drama. And Sean made a comment earlier in his. I checked out your.
The quick reaction thing.
The quick reaction thing, and the score is really good, and the dramatic tension that builds up in that scene where they start arguing right before the fight is like really the timing and just it's just watch it again. It seems like a very cinematic episode. It seems like an actual like step up, just like on a production level, just generally. From the sound to just the look of it and the writing too, and the relationship between Boimler and Mariner. I'm not as a viewer. I'm not sure if her obsession with him is her really trying to keep him safe, and is she really worried about him? I think she knows he's more competent. That's why she doesn't want to hear about the Titan. But I'm hinting. I think there's some like kind of like affection going on there. Some kind of like secret love she has for Boimler.
She's in love with
I think it's going to seep out because she keeps making excuses for why she sabotages him and like basically tries to control his life. And that's an interesting thing to have in an animated series. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say actually that really upset me was when I thought that Agamis was making that whole thing up, and when Mariner admitted to it, I was like, no, like he totally was ready. Like he could have got, or even if he's not ready, he should still, she should trust like the other team, and she should trust like, that Ransom would be there or whoever else like would have his back. It's like
she just wants some. She just
It's
wants
a
some
li-
next. She just wants him with her.
yeah, but that's a little
That's it.
concerning. That's what I'm saying. I guess. Yeah.
I'm not sure if the excuse that she gives is like the whole truth. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something. But I like how they also didn't make Boimler a Boimler in this one. They made him quite competent. And they actually tricked Jeffrey Combs's character. What's his name?
But it's in character. It's a very Boimler thing to do, though.
It was similar to how he saved the day last week by kind of being Boimler. He used his Boimler-ness, I guess, if we're gonna.
It's the Starfleet-ness, isn't it? Though it's like the I don't know. Boimler is so Starfleet and so engaged in the way like Starfleet does things. So it's
I like
the
that.
Starfleet saving the day, I guess.
He talks about it a lot, but I like that his experience on the Titan is actually helping him because he's a lot more confident this season, and like especially since his return to the Cerritos, there is a difference in him, and I do appreciate that. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about Mariner. I think something's going on with her, and she's kind of regressing in a weird way, or maybe she's falling into some kind of like destructive pattern or behavior or something like that.
Well, there's clearly like an ongoing story. Well, there's a couple ongoing stories, but there's an ongoing story with Mariner. I mean, I kind of thought after the embarrassment of Duplers when she and Boimler kind of hash it out at the bar about his time on the Titan, that storyline was complete. But clearly, they still have to reconcile after he left for the Titan. It's kind of interesting to me that like he spent less time on the Titan than they have, dealing with the fallout from him leaving to go on the Titan. But they also briefly mentioned the rumors about Mariner not being who she claims to be, which I didn't think that was a coincidence. I'm not saying that Mariner is in fact Section 31 or anything, but it does seem like that those two stories about Mariner are not completely put to bed.
Do we think perhaps Mariner's in contact with the father, like the Admiral, and that he's got he's got her doing something like some covert op, or I don't know, checking in on Freeman, or I don't know, something like that?
Also, is her father a badmiral? Is that going to be revealed later on? Dom says it might be abandonment issues. She's talked about not opening up due to everyone getting promoted and leaving her. So yeah, she might be like trying to keep him back so that he doesn't get promoted and leave her again because she already went through that. So that might be a good point.
I'm quite convinced they know where they're going with this, though. They're not like improvising as they go along. I'm pretty sure they know exactly where they're going with this character and the story that they want to tell.
Seems so.
Yeah.
This is a good question. I've been trying to figure out Mariner's age. What do you guys think? How old do you think she is? I think You've Been Born says I think Mariner's actually about 30 years old.
She could be considerably older if she served on Deep Space Nine when Worf was aboard the station. I would have to do the math about when.
She's an El-Orian, isn't she? She's not even human.
That would make Freeman...
Well, they just revealed Billups as not human. Come on.
Well,
like,
they might be humans that went off.
They're humans, yeah.
Yeah, they were like the Ren.
Oh, they are humans.
Yeah, like they were like the Renfest people that left Earth, like in like shortly after the Native Americans did, and they made their own planet.
Oh, okay. Kind of like how Crusher has the Scottish planet.
Right. There's like a Scottish planet. There's like all kinds of colonies out there. So yeah, this is like the Ren Faire crowd. There
should be an episode that acknowledges her age, and like they're like, "Oh my God, Mariner, you're 37."
Well, the father is technically a dadmiral.
Also, though, age is kind of like difficult to really gauge with these 24th century people. I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but I was shocked that they are going with Picard being in his 90s when he's actually older than Patrick Stewart is. But,
oh yeah. But it makes him look good for 90, which is, shows that future face creams and all that stuff work really well.
face creams.
Dom agrees with you, Toddy. There is a really cool theory that Mariner and her family might be El-Orians. Interesting. I wonder.
Wow, that would be really interesting if you found out that Freeman or at least maybe just one of the parents were, and Freeman and Mariner are actually like 100 and something years old.
I just did the math a little bit here. Apparently, this season of Lower Decks takes place in 2381. The last time Worf was on Deep Space Nine was 2375. So Mariner might not actually be that old at all.
Oh, okay.
She is
She
older
seems
than the
like
other
she could be in her
three, though.
30s, though. Wouldn't you agree? Like 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, maybe. At
28.
the most. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Whereas the others are like more 23, 24.
Yeah,
Like
how old is Boimler?
Tendy's 21, Rutherford's 23, Boimler's maybe 24, and
Well,
then Mariner's 28.
You'd have to be at least 22 to graduate Starfleet
Would
Academy.
you?
But,
Not necessarily. She's an Orion. She got like exemptions and shit.
so she could be like 122.
Oh, she's an Orion. Yeah, that's right. She could be anything. We don't know.
Wouldn't it be like a case by case basis? If you could be like how you can be a 17-year-old doctor. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
we're
actually-
really good.
I wondered, like, we always see young Starfleet cadets. This is again off topic. We always see young Starfleet cadets, but older people must decide, oh, hey, I'm going to go to Starfleet Academy. You know,
Surely, because we see ensigns that are like 50, right?
white-haired man on
Yeah.
TNG in the later seasons.
Oh my goodness! If there's a Starfleet Academy show, it can either fix all of these things or just create so many more issues that we will no longer understand how Starfleet works.
Shout out to Text Trek tomorrow. Check out the Text Trek channel for a deep and fun dive into this episode of Star Trek Lower Decks. And Text Trek has been here. I meant to say hi earlier. He's been like, "I'm here. I'm leaving. I'm back. I'm leaving." so this time he's gone for real. So
I'm getting Ted Lasso vibes from Billups. Is that just me or the mustache? Or is it because I'm watching both shows at the
I
same
love
time?
it. He has an enthusiasm like Ted. Well, not to get into another show, but he has an enthusiasm that's very appealing, and the fact that they put him front and center in this episode
Yeah,
makes me want more Billups now.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he
got
should be a main
Billups.
character.
I got Ted Lasso vibes. Like he's got the smile and the mustache, and he's just nice to be around.
by the way, shout out to our whole audience because they always have the facts when we don't. Like Picard is 14 years older than P-Stew in Picard. That's so cool. It's like, I don't have to look anything up. I appreciate this. I'm not caught up on the latest. How many Ted Lassos? I think I'm down 2 episodes, so I got to catch up on those maybe tonight. But yeah, Billups does give me that vibe. There's like a moment last season where I felt like Rutherford and Billups had some like really kind of cool chemistry. Obviously, it's not romantic now. We know not on Billups' side, anyways. But like Rutherford definitely idolizes Billups, and I think he was kind of like. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but when he was like, "Oh, great, I get to stay a virgin," Rutherford looked a little disappointed. I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but did anyone else catch that? No. Another one.
I don't
You
think
think Rutherford has a crush on Billups? Maybe he.
I mean,
wants to be
I
the-
kind of do. I mean, like when I saw how ripped he was under his uniform, I was like, "Whoa!" Like
They did a
that's
Ned
crazy.
Flanders on that.
They did. He was like totally.
I like
ripped.
how he
was
rushes in at the end. He's like, "You don't have to do sex now."
yeah, it was really funny.
I think he idolizes him, and he, it's a mentor mentee. I don't know, whatever you call it, relationship. Rutherford is Billups' apprentice, and like Rutherford's gonna replace him one day. Like it's all about like he's gonna learn everything from Billups. I don't think there's anything romantic, although I wouldn't care if there was. I would want Tendi and Rutherford to kind of
I mean, that seems like the logical
realize
step,
something
then.
that's going on between them, but whatever.
Maybe all 4 of them should just get together.
Yeah, it's like
Everyone's.
I love that Billups is like the most unremarkable. I mean, other than this episode, which kind of establishes that
He's
he
a
has-
king.
Yeah, but like he's a fairly
No, not yet.
unremarkable Starfleet
Prince.
officer, but Rutherford like idolizes him so much, and also like clearly like his whole engineering team is like cheering his name and stuff. It's another one of these like. I love that everybody's so positive about each other and so supportive of each other on the Cerritos and on the show, even if they have their moments like
Engineering
Mariner.
specifically on the Cerritos feels like a very a positive environment.
Yeah.
Like Billups
Does.
seems to give all these positive vibes. Like I would love to see like a day in the life of like the engineering team in the Cerritos, and like everyone's just always positive. Everyone's always happy. Billups is encouraging. I don't know. It seems like a very happy place to work.
Although I have to ask, if focusing on Billups is in keeping with the whole Lower Decks thing, because that'd be like Billups is like LaForge level on the senior staff. So, it's another one of these Lower Decks episodes that follows.
He's lower decks in the Starfleet, like, I suppose, like, hierarchy or the grander scheme of things. The whole Cerritos is like a lower ship, I guess.
A lower deck ship, sort of.
So he's not. He's like, Billups is probably like amazed by Geordi the same way that Rutherford is amazed by Billups, I guess.
I mean, we're seeing a lot more of the upper deckers on the Cerritos this season. I feel like, I don't know, I'd have to do a comparison or something like that, but it feels like we're spending more time with them. But at the same time, it's still grounded in like one of the lower deckers. Like, for example, in this one, like Rutherford, went along with him and had to, we got to experience it through that. And Rutherford was the one who, was presumed dead and stuff like that. So it was still very, I like that we are seeing more of the, command staff, but that it's still played, with the focus being on the ensigns and the lower deckers. It's pretty cool.
And there's a kind of a big cast in the show now, and it's okay for them to just to move around and just to focus on some and not as much on others. There's not very much Tendi until toward the end. There's almost none of the cat doctor. God, why do I keep forgetting her name? Ta'ana. Yeah. And that was a nice moment that she got when she was there. I don't remember Kayshawn. I don't remember Shax. So it's okay if they focus on Billups like one time. I wouldn't mind if they did like a Freeman centric episode. I guess
I've had enough of Freeman, to be honest. But that's because the dynamic between Marin and Freeman got a bit overplayed, I guess, overused.
Overall, they don't linger too long in any area. Like, I wasn't feeling like the first half of the season, and now it's just really just getting good. Like, I like how I really don't know what to expect next, and not only is the animation improved from season 1, which was already good anyway, it's just I think they know what they're doing now. It seems
it's a very confident show.
It's very confident, and it didn't feel like that at first. I was a bit worried in the first half, but if it keeps going like this, I mean, it's gonna be freaking awesome.
I keep complaining about episodes that delve too deeply into the command crew and not like doesn't stay with the lower deckers. But I have to shut up about that because, like, Sean, you are right that, like, especially this season has done like a lot of work to show that the Cerritos is lower decks in itself. I mean, especially Embarrassment of Duplers when the command crew is.
They can't get into the party.
So it's all lower decks. It's the entire ship. So, I won't complain about that anymore.
We'll hold you to it on Starfleet Boy.
One of the best things about that episode was the whole party thing, and even they who had their minor adventure, to them it's like a big deal, but to everybody else it's like, we don't know you, we don't care, and it's just like such a gut punch. And you feel for them. It's a great way for you to empathize with the characters in the show, because we all kind of feel like underdogs, no matter how much we put on a front or whatever.
They put classism in Starfleet. How dare they?
Most of us are lower deckers. There's only a few flagships out there, and not everyone fits. Even though the Enterprise can hold 1,000 people.
Well, you can't have 1 million flagships. It makes no sense, right? Come on.
But you never know. The Cerritos might become a capital ship.
Lower
by the end of the
deckers
series.
get shit done, and they need that buffer time too.
I just want to see the Cerritos appear on Star Trek Picard. I think it'd be awesome if it were in the background, docked somewhere, and you just saw it, or the California class would be really awesome.
Paul's gonna be looking at that size, be like, "Did they scale it right? What are they doing?"
Yeah, I was thinking. Somebody else posted on Twitter about when are we gonna get lower decks nods in Star Trek Picard, and one of the production staffers gave kind of like a winking gif. But it got me thinking. I would absolutely love to see Raffi and Mariner meet, because those two personalities are so feisty.
It would be just great to have a live action California class somewhere in Picard. That would be just amazing.
I would like for Shax and Alison Pill's character, Girardi. I would love for them to meet because they both have a lust for killing. Yeah, there we go.
What was that comment? I missed it. What was it?
Which one was it?
I don't know.
Phillips is a lower decker at heart.
Ah,
Okay. Rutherford is my favorite character. Rutherford and Tendi are the best. I've heard that football is not. Oh, this is something related
This
to
is a Ted Lasso.
I love that there's a Ted Lasso conversation going on in the chat. Murders is also great. Were we talking about the murders of like
out of context? That sounded very bad.
Okay.
Murders is great. I love Murders.
Phillips is a lower decker at heart because he doesn't care about being king. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's cool.
I do love the idea that like it's all fantastical to us. Like there are so many planets out there that like so these guys are like, they have dragons and this and that. Well, do they have dragons really?
Yeah.
But
Did you see the thing popped out
yeah.
the display? There's like also
Anyway.
dragons in Star Trek. Remember in the animated series there's
There
that,
is.
like,
The animated
flying
series
dragon?
is
Yeah.
like they
There's
were
like
so
5
high,
or 6
but-
dragons, right? Like,
I love how like people come from these fantastical worlds that to us they seem like amazing. Why would you want to leave it? I kind of felt like the episode was trying to translate that. Like, why would Billups leave such a fantastic world where he could be king and have adventures and go and do these wonderful things? But no, he wants to go into the Jeffries tubes. He wants to purge this thing off.
Me.
what was that, Paul?
I said it was kind of an obnoxious world to me, with like the minstrel following him around. With
I love that scene where he uses
Oh, when he attacks him with the
with the lute and the sound breaks the badge. It was really awesome.
That
'Cause they have
reminded me of
hidden
Scott Pilgrim for some reason.
yeah, they have hidden
Yeah.
technology. Let's talk about the Hesperians for a second. Like,
imagine a war against those people. How annoying would it be?
They specifically said that they colonized the planet with dragons. I mean, and made it like a
They did it on purpose. Okay, they found the world that had dragons.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I also assume that they're a Federation planet, which is
I think I'd go. I think that would be my rise then. I'd go there on vacation. There might be a bit much to live there though. But
The minstrel is called
El
El Playa. He was El Playa. I would just live there permanently. I would dress like them. I would like hang out. I'd
damn
want to
it.
learn how to play the lute. It just sounds like a fun planet for me. Especially when I was younger, I was all into it. I would play
that's because you like the royalty aspect.
the
of it as
battle
well.
chess. I would play the full battle chess where you actually fight and you're like, whatever piece you are, you represent that. It was so much fun. I love the whole although I could only do it for I was also in the Society for Creative Anachronisms, which it's like a medieval society where you dress up and you fight and stuff like that. And Bijo Tremble, the lady credited with helping to save Star Trek, was the queen of one of the regions for a time. So that was pretty cool.
this is just like a whole image right now with you telling this story dressed like this.
Forsooth. But I did like the design. It was like very original, and I thought the ship was cool. I wonder if Eagle Moss is gonna go and do more of the I'd like to see the farm ship. Remember the ship from last season that in the farm episode? That was
NX,
a cool
whatever it was.
Yeah, the NX. Yeah,
This one reminded of the yacht that Harry Mudd's father-in-law has from Discovery.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what it was called, but
which I think Eagle Moss made that.
Dude had like a very fancy kind of like private yacht kind of ship, and this reminded me of that.
Honestly, it reminded me of some of the stuff we've seen in the animated series.
Well, yeah, because the animated, it's the lines, it's the curvatures and everything. Because the animated series went absolutely mad with their designs. I can't wait till we see Phylosians again. I need to see them. We need to go back to the planet. The plant people that created Giant Spock. We need to see them again, please.
There aren't any screen caps of the Hesperian ship yet online that I can show, but it looked cool. It looked like a dragon.
I'll find it.
It had thanks. It had like a dragon
God damn it.
design and stuff like that.
Just do everything yourself.
Thanks, Toddy. Let's see here. Whoa, lots of. Okay. Oh, so the dragons, by the way, you see it on one of the pads when they die. Oh no, El Playa. Sorry, that's what you see. But they do have the dragons on the MSD for the ship, which was cool. By the way, I think I saw on Twitter that the the Cerritos that we see in engineering in the background, that one was actually made by Michael Okuda. So it's an actual Okuda update to the Cerritos MSD, which is pretty cool.
And the California class logo that showed up this week was made by Okuda as well.
Oh, no way. Oh, there it is. Look at this thing. That's so rad. Look at it. And it has like crazy looking nacelles. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Has a neat.
How is it?
Like
It's powered by like dragon fire, dragon force.
Well, so she says the queen. Interestingly, she says like my engineers in the beginning, but then later she calls them her blacksmiths. So it's like weird. Like she goes, you know.
Yeah.
They use medieval fantasy jargon for all the technical stuff, even though like
this
the ship's not magic in any way. They just use magic terms for everything.
I like this.
And they make a joke of it. It's kind of funny, I guess.
That reminds me of the Discovery connectors, right? Like from the
well, they did this a lot in Enterprise, because in Enterprise, they couldn't transport, so they used these. What are they even called? Like docking. I don't know, like
docking tubes.
Tubes, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. I loved all these extreme close-ups of the Cerritos this week.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I like how
it was visually stunning, like the whole episode.
I like they used the background of the planet.
Looks good.
They used the background of the planet in the advertising for season 2. The kind of like raffle poster that they put out. It's from this week.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay.
I laughed almost as hard as at the prison for evil computers that I did for Arms.
Oh,
yeah, that was
great
really
ending.
funny. Yeah.
My only complaint is that they're all basically the same size and they all fit in the same cells. I would have liked to see one or few, like or two that are a bit bigger, like different size. I get the joke. I'm just going to assume that this specific part of the prison is all of the ones that fit in these cubicles, but they have like another section with like the bigger ones. But like, that's the smallest, most ridiculous nitpick. But
one of them has like the CBS logo and everything on it.
Yeah, like to your point, TJ.
I didn't notice that. That's crazy.
To PJ's point about the episode not being overloaded with Easter eggs, this was like a perfect opportunity to throw in every evil computer or robot the franchise ever had. And they refrained, which I like congratulate them for,
Yeah, it's cool. Good point.
But can I just say something about the Queen? It's like it's our first episode with her, but it's like really in the Cerritos' history, or if like the Cerritos was another show, this is like the 4th or 5th time they've dealt with her, because it's like they acknowledge, oh, she's back, she's gonna be up to her old tricks. It's kind of like how Picard like expects something to go wrong when Loaxana Troy shows up in the Enterprise. It's like, but yeah, that's great. I want to see more of the Mother. Like that they should be recurring characters because they're great. And,
I hope so.
And the guy prancing around the whole time on the ship, like it's hilarious.
Yeah, I want to see the Hesperians again. But I think like once a season, just like Loxana came once a season, and there's a suggestion she's been on before, because he's like, you guys all know what happens when my mother comes, like that kind of thing. So it's interesting to see that like there's an ongoing thing with her, and that. So I do hope we see.
They could
her
do a flashback episode.
She's a winner. The whole colony, the whole planet. What were you gonna say, PJ?
They should do a flashback episode where how Billups came to the ship and how the mother was like the first time she visited the ship and tried to trick them.
Oh, how fucking embarrassing would that be, wouldn't it?
Am I crazy?
A prequel.
Thinking that the mother is actually in the mid-season trailer in footage that wasn't in this episode. Am I crazy in that?
I don't know. I haven't analyzed it that well.
I didn't watch that.
I'll have to go back and watch it now and check and see. But yeah, that would be cool. It'd be interesting. I mean, we're down. This is episode 6, right? So we're down to
7.
4.
7.
Oh, 7. We're three episodes left. That's crazy.
It's
Unless
gone. The season's finished. It's over.
it's over. I can't believe it. And last season, didn't we kind of have like like it was a 2-episode finale? You could say, kind of, right? It was like.
I don't think they're going to do that this time because there was the big thing was like Boimler leaving for the Titan, and they were setting up like the Pakled threat. I do think this one is going to pay off the Pakled kind of weapon that we learnt about in the previous episode that Freeman learnt about. I think they're going to try and pay off that.
I said, and the other spy.
The other spy.
Yeah, Riker says in, I don't know, like the 2nd or 3rd episode of the season that somebody's helping the Pakleds.
Oh, yeah.
No, okay. God, it better not be Shax. It's Shax or Kayshawn.
Wait, but Shax died in a Pakled.
That's the thing.
Oh,
Shax
no.
is a Pakled in disguise or some shit. Right?
No, he can't be.
But they can't do it to Kayshawn because this is the first time we have like a main cast child of Tana or whatever it is. So you can't do it to this one's, but anyway. So
I hope
think
Shax
there's
is...
maybe it's Dadmiral. Maybe it's father.
Oh, could be, yeah. I think it's a Klingon or Klingons or something.
Maybe this is what'll bring Freeman and Mariner closer together. The fact that the father is the terrible admiral that's been working with the Pakleds.
I don't want them to do that.
No.
You heard it, Mike McMahon. Cancel the plotline.
He's
reanimate
like, we have to
everything.
reanimate the whole ending. We just heard this guy on this obscure YouTube channel
Cancel
talking
it.
about this
Call
idea.
Kurtzman. Tell
It's
him to
really
trash
amazing.
No, Kurtzman watches us. Kurtzman's going to relay the message to Mike McMahon.
But both You've Been Boimed and Anvilosock says that Shax's personality is different. You may be onto something.
I didn't find him too different, though, to be honest. I know that some of you guys pointed that out, but he feels very Shax to me.
He's more Shax. Like, I've gotten used to him, but there was something off about him, and I guess that was on purpose to, like, set up the whole thing about the Black Mountain and, like, the whole,
Well, it was through Rutherford's perspective, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's seeing him.
Yeah, but now he seems more... Like, he seemed more like himself in the Pakled mission
Spy
and stuff like
Humongous,
that. Yeah, the Spy Humongous and
He's
stuff
barely
like
been
that.
in the season, though. So.
Yeah, he's hardly...
Yeah,
been,
now
and
we've
also,
got 2. We've got Kayshawn and Shax, but neither of them are very present.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get more Kayshawn, although that was delightful also in that episode to get more of Kayshawn. I hope we get to see him even more. It'd be a lot of fun. Anything else about this episode that you guys want to talk about or that stands out or give some closing thoughts?
I'm loving that Dr. Miglimo, however you pronounce it. He's just now always on the bridge.
Yeah, I do like that too.
In his like what I assume is like a corduroy jacket, and turtleneck.
Which is in keeping with like how Counselor Troy, he kind of sits in the same spot also, and how he gets
He
to
can't
wear his
sense
own
shit
thing.
though. Like what does he do on the bridge? He just sits there and watches the view screen. They could be lying. I don't know. I can't read their thoughts. It's up to you, Captain.
Oh yeah, Anvilosock, sorry if I'm saying your screen name wrong, says, I thought it was great that Agamus went full corn on the skull throne. That was great. And it reminded me of someone posted this, I think it was Geek Filter, Aaron Harvey. But because he posted that, it reminds me of the ending of The Black Hole where I think it's Maximilian, the evil robot, is standing up on this mountain, and it looks very similar to that as well. So that was cool. Yeah, this was a really delightful episode. I enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed last week's episode. So it's another 10 for me. PJ, we already know, gave it a 9. What's up with you, Paul? How do you rate this if you have to give it a rating?
I think I'd give it a 9. I thought it was kind of a special episode. I love the way it was structured and it didn't go off the rails. It's nice. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
Toddy?
I can't give it a 9. I'd give it an 8.
Which is, I think, what you gave last week too, right?
I think maybe last week I gave it a 9.
Oh, you did?
Like the only thing that maybe I could take a bit away from this episode is like, and this is my very personal view of Star Trek, I guess, the episodes I give 9s and 10s in like all of the other Star Trek shows are episodes that kind of they become quintessential Star Trek. Like this is a story that feels like, I don't know, there are certain specific sci-fi concepts or stories that you're like, oh yeah, this is only Star Trek could deliver this or could like deliver this message so well. And I don't feel like that episode necessarily did that. It's like perfect in everything it tried to do, but it didn't do that. If I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, I loved it nonetheless, so I'll give it an 8.
An 8, very cool. 7.5 from Braxton, who's been listening. If they come back from the dead and they are unchanged, it's no good. If they are changed, it's too suspicious. They can't win. It's true. 9.5 from You've Been Poemed. Dom says didn't even mention the Daystrom Institute at Okinawa looking like a less built-up version from Picard. We did talk about it briefly, but you're right. It was a less built-up version, and they didn't have that big floaty thing in the foreground. They only had the one in the background. So, yeah, it was a little bit different. But it's 20 years till Picard, so, yeah, it makes sense.
I also love that we saw a runabout in this episode. The runabout picked Boimler and Mariner up.
Oh, I missed that.
I
gotta go
didn't pay
back and
attention
check
to that. Yeah, see, we need to watch things multiple times. God
I know.
damn
I
it.
gotta watch it like Text
Right,
Trek. He
it's
watches
right at the
it 3
very
times.
end when the alien's giving them coffee and they got the blankets around them.
Blue says,
Yeah.
I feel like you guys talked a lot about Bills. Oh, I guess.
Yeah,
Bills,
we didn't
not
talk too much.
A lot about Boims.
It's crazy because this is the second time it's done that with like the guest star. We had Tom Paris. They bring like a legacy character back, but
We
then
talked
like
a lot
it's-
about Tom Paris, didn't we?
Yeah, but it's the other story that kind of, I suppose, like stuck with me more. And here it's the same thing. Like we've got Jeffrey Combs, and he's amazing, and his voice acting like was impeccable, and the character was really cool. But for some reason, it's the whole Billups story that stuck with me more than that.
You know, I was meaning to ask you guys, but got sidetracked with the whole Hysperion thing. Do you think because Agamus downloaded part of himself into Boimler's pad, they are setting up a return?
Absolutely,
Yeah, 100%.
absolutely. I couldn't stop thinking of that. Like the moment they did it, every time they showed anything that had, I was
Because
like,
it's
he's
that
still in the
download
pad,
complete.
though.
That's
He's
true.
still in the pad though. I'm like, he copied himself, right?
And do you think they'll salvage the pad? He didn't have did he have the pad with him at the end, or like he probably did, and or they'll
It's
at least
Boimler.
salvage
He's
it.
holding it like this, right?
I think he was just transferring the data on the pad into his databanks. Cause
No, you see the pad. I think if I recall correctly, it turns like red, or it turns.
oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah, like it turns into his style or whatever.
Like
so,
Arium,
yeah.
it goes
At
red.
the end, him and Badgie team up with Moriarty.
Oh,
and,
jeez.
That's great. And Da Vinci,
He's totally setting that shit up. He's gonna take like Law, Moriarty. Yeah, he's totally doing that.
There was a joke about Data's head, which was a callback I didn't mind. I mean, they didn't beat me over the head with TNG and TOS, and it was just like a few jokes here and there, and like they didn't. It was pretty original overall, and it was worked great dramatically. And the A story was awesome, and the B story with Jeffrey Combs was funny and very strong. So
Yeah, it was a great.
it's a very strong
all-around
episode in
great
my
episode,
opinion.
Yeah.
It's- yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't talk too much about what was his name? Agamus. Agamus Prime. That's all I'll remember him from now.
Great character nonetheless.
But did you not find it funny him just constantly trying to gain their trust, like no matter
Yes, I
what?
did.
Even at the end, he's like,
Well, he's
you know what? You know,
relentless.
I've learned something today. You know, friendship, and like he seems. You're almost thinking, oh, is he actually learning a lesson? I was like, no, don't trust him. And it's like, of course.
I would much prefer to see Agamus come back like once per season than Badgie. Like
Yeah,
Badgie was
like-
a bit much for me. Agamus, I think, is like a nice balance between like the
I wanna team up.
ridiculousness. You wanna they would hate each other though, right?
So
the
they may love
Cerritos-
each other. They may get
No,
down.
no.
You know
The
what I'm saying?
Cerritos just gets caught up in this like this big war between like Agamus drones and like Badgie holographic fighters or whatever it is.
Alexandra Sanju says, I only saw it once, but I was under the impression that it downloaded data from the pad only. We'll have to find out tomorrow on
Okay.
Text Trek, where we do a deeper dive. So I'll have watched
Valerie will
it two
tell
more.
you.
Yeah, and I'll have watched it like 2 more times by then. So I'll be able to look for that kind of. I'm gonna look for the runabout that I missed and everything. So it'll be very cool.
Will Agamus one day release all of the other like computers, sentient computer
It
AIs.
could happen. I mean, like you never know. I mean, those lockers don't seem very secure. I'm sure there's.
That's
like,
why the synth
you know,
ban happens. That's the true reason, right?
Oh, jeez. Maddox puts their consciousness into all the synths.
Oh my god.
Like he cheats, and that's why it happens.
That's why B4 didn't work. They tried to upload Agamus into B4.
Oh, Yves. Now we're getting a little crazy. Any real quick, any predictions for the conclusion other than like the Packleds and anything? Like, who do you think is going to be the puppeteer behind all of this? I think
Shax
it's Lore.
will die.
I think
Packled
Lore's
will
coming.
literally rip himself out of Shax's like body. Like
I think we're gonna find out what happened to Lore on Lower Decks, and we'll find out why he's not mentioned in Trek Picard. So whatever happens to Lore in Lower Decks will explain why he's.
If they had a
not
lore
in
episode,
Picard.
people would lose their minds. Like if he was an actual villain in an episode, they could do it. They really could.
Yeah,
They couldn't do it live action, but I mean,
Lore and Cybok.
There was audio reference to both Lore and Data in this episode earlier with the soap, the bubble, the whatchamacallem,
The bubble bath.
the bubble
ones.
baths. Yeah, exactly. So
I was thinking Klingons, but if Lore ended up being like the puppeteer of the Packleds, that would be so perfect. It would be a reflection of what he was trying to do with the Borg.
It also would. It also would make a little sense since the Packleds rescued Lore in TNG Brothers, and Lore wears their outfits the entire episode.
Oh, that's right.
Oh wow. Oh, there you go.
Oh, well done. All right, we're gonna
That's
conclude
discovered,
on that.
Mike McMahon. Write it again. Do another
There you
one.
go. We're gonna
Scrap it.
conclude on that. Everyone, go check out Paul on Twitter at Paul Sutherland. Check him out; he's pretty cool, and he sometimes he's written stuff, and it's gonna premiere on Trek Culture. So check it out. Go
No,
check
they're
out
never
Trek
gonna
Culture.
release what he writes
They are.
scripts, but then they just don't
It's
release it. They're like,
they're saving it for next. You can check out Trek, Duke of the Tube on Trek on the Tube. He's got some really cool videos that his channel is designed mostly for newbies to Star Trek, but he's also got some really cool videos about continuity and a few funny gags here and there. So go check out Trek on the Tube. PJ can be found at Boatwreck on YouTube, and you've got another Deep Space Nine watch along fan commentary coming up this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, right?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Sorry,
Because
9
it's Deep
p.m.
Space Nine.
It's Deep. I get it. Deep Space Nine, and this week is Move Along Home, which I was.
It's me, you, and Fathery, and it's fun times.
Yes, I was. It was like it came together last moment, and I was pretty drunk when we when we did it. But yeah, check it out. I got to listen to it. I'm excited. And you can of course check out Starfleet Boy here. Check out Text Trek tomorrow. On Text Trek, we're gonna do a deep dive there, and then Starfleet Boy After Dark on Friday nights. Saturdays we do a TOS discussion. We hope you'll join us for all the stuff. Thank you, audience, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. Live long and prosper, and we will see you